Okay. So
Want
I'll
us
just,
to all,
yeah, if you guys all want to stand over here. This is so exciting. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
finally. It was such an
Definitely was
easy
a wonky
process.
scenario, but I appreciate your kindness and understanding as we navigated through that, because that was very interesting. So thank you for being so kind in the process. So I'm here to swear you guys in for your term for library board. So we'll go ahead and we will get started. I'll have you guys raise your hand and I'll have you repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
or affirm that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of this state,
of this state,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
the duties of office
the duties of office
of library board member
of library board member
in and for the Township of Brandon,
in and for the Township of Brandon,
County of Oakland,
County of Oakland,
in the state of Michigan,
in the state of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Woohoo, you guys are sworn in. Congratulations. You can have your meeting. And, so I will have you, Cheryl, I'm going to have you sign here. And
Okay.
then we'll just kind of work our way down. So I'll have you sign here.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Kelly?
Yep.
Right here. We'll have you sign right here. Thank you. Whoever wants to come up next, you're more than welcome to. I got a spot for each of you, Deborah.
Deborah, okay.
Yep. we're gonna
Sign right in
there. Yes.
We're gonna take one more picture.
So you go by Kay.
Yeah, I've
I
really.
have you in mine is Deborah, so.
I know, I've went by my middle name for longer than a K.
Okay. Berna, how are you?
Good, how about you?
Doing good, right here, on this line.
Okay.
I was a substitute parapro for Oxford program last fall.
There you go.
This is exciting. Thank you, yeah, thank you for inviting me, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Well, it makes it easier all the time.
Sure. And John. Oh, are you? My son's a lefty. Mm-hmm. All righty.
You want to stand with us and we'll...
Can you pretend like you're signing one more time?
Oh, all right.
Because I wasn't. Okay, good.
That worked out
Do you
good.
want to take one more picture with Roslyn with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You want to stand in the middle somewhere?
Oh, sure.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, everybody look at me, give me a big smile, 2, 3. All right, let's do one more. And big smile, 2, 3. Okay. All set?
Good.
Thank you. Thank
so
you.
much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
You are so welcome.
If there's any brand new take it out.
Call this meeting to order. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'm going to take roll. Verna? Here. John?
Here.
Kelly?
Here.
Cheryl? Here. Kay? Here. And me. We're all here. Okay, if there are no changes to the agenda it stands approved. And if there are no changes to the minutes of October 22nd, they stand approved.
I don't know if this is important, but under the committee reports, when we made our motions, after the motion, it should say as presented. So it confirms that what we were approving was what was part of the agenda package.
Okay, on 10.2,
10.2, 10.3, and 10.32.
each should say as presented.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other corrections?
Well, I would put under 13.1, motion to approve, I would say mural design instead of just work. Mural design.
Yep.
Because that's what we were doing. That's all.
Anything else? Okay, then we need a motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, we are now to election of officers. Before we do a slate, which I was going to have Verna present, is there any, we have 4 positions, president, vice president, finance officer, and secretary. Is there any nominations?
I nominate Cheryl Galt as president.
Do you want to do a slate, all 4 together?
Yes.
Okay, since there's no other nominations,
Okay.
go ahead.
I nominate Jan Rathgard as vice president, Kelly Faw as secretary, and John Crockett as finance.
Okay. If there's no questions, I need a motion. Or is that the motion?
Motion to approve the slate as presented.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, congratulations, Cheryl Galt. You are our new president. You may continue.
You don't have a
Wasted no
baton
time
you're
handing
giving me or
over.
anything?
Where's the gavel?
No, we're afraid to give her a gavel.
Yeah.
I see we have a few people in our audience. Anyone wish to speak on agenda items? No? Okay. Director's report, Laura?
So you have your director's report. We decided this month to color code it as we've been doing with the staff reports to correlate with our strategic plan objectives. So the key is at the top for the different colors. We tried to also put a symbol in each one, so if the colors were confusing, but they didn't come through for some reason. So we'll keep working on that. But we are making progress on all our strategic plan objectives. And things are going well. I wanted to add a couple things. We did receive a donation of a bronze Colt. On Monday, yesterday morning it came. It's really nice. I'm really pleased with it, and we found a good spot for it. So it was a very nice donation. Catherine Wagner was a patron here that passed, and she actually made the horse. So pretty impressive. I would like to welcome Kate and Kelly to the board. I will be contacting you after the holiday, and we'll get together and do some training, and I hope I can answer any questions that you have. Until then, I gave you some light reading. Library Michigan Finance and trustee manuals. Thank you to Jay and Susan for your service to the library. Where'd Jay go? Oh, he's out. But thank you to them for the last years of service from them, because they've made some really nice changes with our library. Does anybody have questions for me about the report?
I'd like to look at the Browns Colt. Where is it? You said?
It's over in the adult department next
Okay.
to the magazines.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question or a suggestion. I see that the COVID tests are now not being provided for the public, but should we acquire some for the staff in case they feel we need to use them?
We do have a few stash away.
Okay.
But it's not a big, yeah, we've been kind of waiting. We're hoping they're going to open it back up, but I'm not sure
Right.
when they will. But that's a good idea to keep some for staff.
They're so vulnerable with public coming in.
Right. Mhm.
I just had a question. You met with the liability insurance company. Is there any increase coming?
There was an increase of about, it was a little under $200. Right around
So not
$200.
major.
So,
Okay.
cons-
And can you talk about the hoopla binge passes?
Yes, I was very excited about that. I had heard of it and I kind of knew what it was, but after I took the webinar. So the binge passes with Hoopla, how it works is a patron checks out a downloadable, a streaming video or audiobook through Hoopla with their library card. Every time a patron checks something out, it costs the library money. So it can be anywhere from $3 to $5 per checkout. With the binge passes, you can actually check out like a whole season of Friends, or I don't know if it has Friends, don't quote me on that, but a whole season of something, and that counts as one checkout. So it costs the library $3 and they get it for 7 days. So they get the whole season for 7 days and it counts as one checkout. So the binge passes save the library a lot of money, and people get to stream a lot more content with their one checkout. So the way, we have 10 checkout limit right now, so they could potentially, that's per month, so they could potentially stream their TV shows and movies all month with just their library card.
Does it apply to anything else than just like season?
Yeah, it's for audio, well, no, it is just, there's like a Hallmark binge pass, so it's a bunch of Hallmark movies.
Okay.
So there's different genres that you
Okay.
can check out. So it's pretty nice.
Are we going to be able to track that so we can kind of see how people are using it?
The binge passes themselves, I think we can. I'll have to ask Shauna about that. We'd probably
Okay.
get it, well, would you know?
Yeah, we can see the number of binge passes that our patrons have checked out, but we don't know if they checked out the Great Courses binge pass or the Hallmark binge pass or exactly which one. And that offering changes every month. There's a different set of binge passes that are available, so it does rotate to give people variety.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have any more questions?
There was no question, and I might be getting this mixed up. We're not getting rid of Hoopla.
No,
No. Did we get rid of Mango?
yes.
We did.
It was a while ago.
That's what I
Mhm.
confused, okay. And Mango was?
Language.
Languages,
Mhm.
okay.
All right, on to trustee report. First of all, I'd like, on behalf of the entire board, to welcome our new and our old trustees. Thank you for running and volunteering your time to do this sometimes thankless job. But it's always great work, so we enjoy it. But welcome.
I understand we're getting a double pay this year?
Yeah. Our pay's being tripled. 0 times 3 is still 0. Okay, any trustee information from anyone? Jan? Verna? I just wanted to say that I also attended the Treats and Trails, only I worked at the FOL booth because they asked first. But it was fun, and I was surprised at the amount of people that attended. I mean, for a first-time event, it was really well attended. And everybody seemed to really love it, especially the FOL tank, or both the parents were really excited for the kids to be able to get books. You know, and a couple of the kids were like, I just want candy. But the parents
Maybe next
really,
year we'll do both.
yeah, the parents really appreciated that we were giving out books. I thought it was really great, so. Great job, Laura.
Thank you. It was fun.
Okay, on to the financial officer's report.
Guess that's me now.
Yes, that's you.
Are there any questions, comments on the check register? Let's start with that. A couple of items that are non-recurring or not often recurring is the bat and bird exclusion, $13,615, and then the carpet cleaning, it's more once a year. Everything else, in my mind, seemed fairly standard.
Is
there any more signs of bats?
No. So far, so good.
Knock for my cup.
Yeah. There is one charge for Shauna. She went to that conference in Washington. There was a charge of $1,889, but she did get an $1,800 stipend from the Library of Michigan to cover for that. So that will even out.
I see we did a quarterly maintenance GOYAT.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that they found or
Mm-mm.
any problems?
Nope.
Perfect. Yay.
Okay. Anything else? Move on to the balance sheet. I didn't see any significant changes from where it has been. No questions, comments? All right, income statement. For those of you who are new to the board, the column that says year-to-date budget is actually the full-year budget, which I had asked that question probably the first 3 meetings I came to, so I just thought I'd pass that on. Any comments, questions? I had a couple where it looked like we were over budget, and I don't know if that requires an amendment or if at what level we do budget amendments. But
yeah, we would typically look at everything in detail in November, because actually in December and do a budget amendment if we have to do it at that point.
okay.
But it doesn't look like anything at this point because we just go by cost center, not by individual line item.
Okay.
The one item that you'll see is 826, the HVAC. There will be an amendment to that with a budget amendment to fix that before the end of the year.
Didn't we do that last month?
Yes, but accounting-wise, it hasn't been put in
okay.
yet. We were
So
talking
we
to the
approved it.
auditors to make sure we did it the way they wanted it done.
Got it, okay.
So my only comment is, yay, we're really spending the money on materials, so we'll make sure that all that's spent. That's important.
Close.
Any other comments? So we have the budget amendment. Well, we did approve that last month, I believe.
Yes, that's been approved.
Okay.
So we need to approve the expenses for this one.
Yes. So that is, so that would be the 103?
Yes.
Okay.
We need a motion to approve the expenses.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
And we need a roll call.
Yes, Debbie.
That's you, Kelly.
Jay,
Approve.
John,
Yes.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Jan,
Yes.
me, yes, Verna.
Yes. Okay. So we will see that corrected in the next financial statements.
Okay.
Okay. Committee reports, just a couple comments on that before we get into each committee. I will be appointing the new committee members in December. So if any of you are interested in being on a particular committee between now and then, please let me know.
And the two committees are?
The two committee, well, there's actually 3 outstanding right now. Our standing committees are policies and finance. And then we have an ad hoc board training committee that is still outstanding because we still have a final part of that to be done in January. So if for some reason you'd like to be part of that, just let me know, or on the other 2 committees. And then I will make the appointments and we'll approve those in December. Okay. Jan, ad hoc board training?
Once a year, we do a board self-evaluation. We also do a board director eval. But when we did the board self-evaluation last year, we focused on 3 areas to work on. And the 3rd area we have not handled yet, and that was improving our understanding of the new Robert's Rules of Order. So in January, we're going to have a review of Robert's Rules of Order. And so far, Shauna, raise your hand. Shauna Quick. Oh, that's right, that is your name. And myself, and maybe somebody else, will be working to set this up. I know Shauna has some great ideas, maybe a YouTube video or a quiz we can take of some type, but we'll do that in January. We held off on it so we could get the new board in place. So that's why that's been on there for month after month after month, because we were holding out for you new board members. Thank you.
And then in February, we will start, what we typically do is prior to our meetings, we take a chapter out of the trustee manual and review it. So we'll start that in February. Okay. Policies, Verna or Jan, who wants to?
We have not, well, do you want to say anything, Laura? We have not done any new policies except, is this where you want to talk about?
No, I have that in new business.
Okay, that's under new business. So I guess nothing right now.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about just how the policy committee works so that the
We
people
could. Often, between policies and finance, which are our 2 standing committees, there's 3 board members on each. And we meet once a month, and we handle all of the policies, 1 per month, or thereabouts anyway. And we've been through quite a few of them, but we'll probably continue to review them. And we work them out, we reread them, we decide if any changes need to be made, and then we bring it to the board and review it with the board, give the board a chance to discuss it, and then the following month we vote it into a permanent policy. So that committee meets once a month, often in the afternoon, depending. Anything else that I forgot? Verna?
No, I think that's...
Okay. So far, Verna and I have been on it this past year. We need 1 more person. Okay.
John, you're going to do finance committee?
Sure. We met a week ago or so. It was a very brief meeting, only 1 agenda item, and that was the new pay grade scale, which is the next item on the agenda. And This was updated with the pay increase, 4%. And the only other change was we updated, since the last version of this, the custodian step 1 to 1248 to make it in compliance with the new minimum wage.
Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I would like to add, so the laws were changing as far as the exempt and non-exempt status for employees. There was a salary threshold that they had to meet. So that was supposed to go through, and then I just found out Friday, I think.
Yeah.
It didn't go through. So we had taken the exempt and non-exempt off the pay grade scale. I still think we should leave it off. It's still in our policies, so I just don't trust that they're not going to change their mind again. So I still think we should leave it off, but if you guys want it on there, we certainly can put it back. And I also will say the step increase, or the cost of living is a 4% raise. I will say we gave a 2% raise in 2022. Since 2022, 2022, the cost of living adjustment was actually 5.9%. 23 was 8.7%. We did not give a raise that year. 2024 was 3.2, and next year is projected to be 2.5. So it's a total of 20.3 in the last 4 years. It's really gone up, and we've only given a 2% raise. So we are asking the board to increase the pay scale by 4% across the board to try to keep up a little bit. There won't be, with that 4% cost of living adjustment, we will not be giving step raises in addition to that next year. So they will stay at the step that they are at with that 4% increase, and then possibly step increases the following year, if that makes sense. So minimum wage is expected to go up to $12.48. The only one that is below that is our shelter position, and that's because there is a stipulation that if they are under 18, it's a different rate, and we do comply with that as long as they're under 18. If our shelter turns 18, or we hire a shelter that is 18 or older, we'll automatically start them at step 9, which would put us in compliance for minimum wage. Next year, we're probably going to have to make adjustments to that because it's going to continue to go up for the next 4 years. So this is a temporary fix, but.
So a shelter next year would start, or after 18 years of age would start at $12.58 is what you're saying, okay.
Typically, we hire high school though, right? High school students?
Typically, yes.
Okay.
But the 2 pages that we've had before, the one we have currently were not. It was Margaret and, I can't remember the other. Judy.
Okay.
So,
Okay, any questions, comments, concerns? Okay. John? Jan?
We can afford this.
yes, it is in the
Okay.
budget. Mhm.
It's in the budget,
Yeah.
okay.
Kelly?
No questions.
Verna? And a motion?
I move that we,
Kay moved.
oh, she did?
Sorry, it's very
Oh.
quiet.
I felt like I should raise my hand.
Oh. Go ahead.
Just
and
talk
I will-
louder.
I'd approve 4% increase.
I second it.
Okay, and we'll need to do a roll call.
Kay? Yes. John?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Jan?
Yes.
Verna?
Yes.
And me, yes.
Good job.
And the motion is approved. And was there any communication, Laura, that you did with them? No unfinished business, and we're on to new business. And that's up to you now.
Okay. So, this started, there was a work climate study done by TLN, the Library Network, and they they surveyed the entire TLN workforce, which is most of the Metro Detroit area, on staff satisfaction. And there were a lot of things that came out of the study. that I would love to give the staff, but there's, I mean, some, well, raises, of course, benefits for families, things like that. But one of the things that came out of it that I thought we could do for our staff that I think would be really great is to pay for their lunchtime, have that become part of their 8-hour day. So I did some research. I did find a really good article from Harvard Business Review that says offering paid mealtime at work is a valuable employee benefit that can significantly improve employee well-being, productivity, and overall job satisfaction, ultimately contributing to a more successful and positive work environment. It positively impacts mental health. It demonstrates an employer's commitment to employee well-being and work-life balance. They feel more valued and supported. A positive work environment, including paid lunches, can encourage employees to stay with the company longer. And it also it shows a decrease in sick days and absences. Currently, there are, I would say, about half of the TLN libraries that offer paid lunches. Some of them are surprisingly 75 minutes, 60 minutes, 45 minutes. The majority of them were 30 minutes like ours is. But it is a trend, and I think it would be a really good morale booster for our staff. And it is doable with our schedules. One thing that's really nice about this is it's not going to cost the library anything. You know, it's a perk for our staff that's easy for us to do. So I welcome any questions.
Are there any questions regarding the schedule policy?
I just have one question. So you've looked over the entire schedule, so it's not going to affect scheduling?
No. Alyssa and Sarah are both here. They do the scheduling for the departments. So if it's okay for them to answer that, they've looked at those as well.
Sure, I'll start. So yes, I did a complete a full week mock schedule for my department, and it is not an issue at all. Essentially, I will always come in at 8:30 along with probably Miss Fran because she sometimes visits classrooms as early as 9 a.m. But essentially, there will always be one or two of us here to open up our departments, get the library up and running before we open at 9, and then other full-time staff, and I do have a couple part-time staff still, would come in at 9 and work 9 to 5. So yeah, it is not an issue. The only difference, so I'm a public service department, sometimes it might have to fluctuate a little bit to make sure that somebody's here for a program. You know, if their program gets over at 5:30, they're going to come in later and work their program till 5:30, but that kind of stuff happens currently anyway, and we just have very flexible schedules.
So there's really not going to be an impact on
No.
on scheduling or anything?
No, other than I have a couple people who are going to love getting to sleep in a little bit. I'm sure in my department. So again, I think they're really going to like it, and like Laura said, I was on the strategic team that worked on this, and our focus was staff morale, satisfaction, and retaining employees. And I think this is just a free way for us to kind of reward our employees. So,
Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions?
So when you said there was no cost, so currently they would be, basically have an 8.5-hour shift, and the half hour in the middle is unpaid. Now they're going to have an 8-hour shift.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there is no cost. I
So
don't have any
entertain
other.
a motion if anybody.
I have some questions on the wording of
Okay.
this. It's kind of trying to understand the 6 to 8 hour day,
Can you tell us what section?
oh, I'm sorry, meal periods.
That's employment law. That's,
So if they work 6 to 8 hours, it's a,
John, would it be better if it said at least 6 hours instead of 6 to 8?
right, is it 6 but less than 8? Is that?
I thought you had to have a lunch period if you worked at least a 6 hour day. Is that what it is?
mhm.
Mhm.
So it seemed to me that if they work 6 to 8 hours, is it optional that they have a 30-minute meal period? It's required.
I think it's optional up to 8 hours.
That's
Everything
what
more
I was
than
trying
8
to get
hours.
at. I was
Yeah,
having a hard time
okay.
articulating.
Mhm.
Yes, when we were working on this, we wrote it as 6 to 8. The law is 8 hours. Anything over 8 hours requires that an employee take a break for lunch.
Is it over 8 hours, or if it's 8 hours at least, they're
8 hours.
So if it's over 8, they give an additional 20-minute
Yes,
meal.
and we assume no one works more than 12 hours. Does that make sense?
Sure. I'm supportive of anything that would improve staff morale. I don't have any problems with it.
Okay. I guess I was just caught in that, what if it's exactly 8 hours?
Yeah. Once it's 8 hours, it's required.
Then should the first one be 6 but less than 8?
Phew, excuse me. It could.
Just so that 8 doesn't fall into both.
Mhm.
And
Well,
then
I think it's all right if 8 falls into both, because 6 to 8, so if it was 8, they get 30 minutes, and the next line is quoting the law, which says they have to take it at 8 hours anyway. The first one says they're entitled to it, but the law doesn't require that they take it. If they only work 6 hours, and they want to work their full 6 hours and then leave, the law doesn't require that they have to take a lunch hour in between. But at 8 hours, it does.
right. So again, I guess I would say, should it be 6 to less than 8 in the first one? Or is it clear enough?
I
I think it's clear
It's
enough.
up to you. I'm good.
John, are you confused about the difference between a meal period and break time? Is that?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm fine.
Sure.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the schedules
So moved.
policy.
And second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion approved. And the
Thank you.
next one is the performance development credit hour form.
So the performance development credit hours form is what the staff fill out when they've done professional development, to kind of give their manager and myself a report on whatever they attended, and if they got anything out of it, if they found value in it. It would be, we have a policy and a procedure for this as well, but the form itself is really just for our own knowledge And we would like to make this an e-form for the staff to be able, a Google form for the staff to fill out, and so they can just submit it to us electronically. So in order for us to do that, we would have to take off the board approval. So, because we would like to change a couple of things too, just to make it a little more tailored for the staff and what they're attending.
Would you note within policy that there is an e-form that's to be used?
It doesn't say e-form right now, it just says form.
So it does say in the policy that there's a form to be used. So you don't have to change that language? Okay.
No, the policy and the procedure are the same.
Will the form look the same?
It'll be similar. I might make a few changes. But there's so many webinars now, and there isn't a place on here to say who sponsored the event, or who provided the webinar or the program. So there's a couple of things I'd like to change, but for the most part, it looks the same.
Anyone have any more questions?
Well, yes.
Okay.
The first page is rescinded, and the second page, are these two different possibilities? They're both rescinded, or is it part of the same thing?
Two separate forms.
Uh-huh.
One is for, the first one is for a one-time event. The second one is for a conference.
Okay.
So if it's a multi-day conference, it's a separate form.
You want them to both to be an e-form,
Yes.
both of them, so we're voting on both.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. I know that the board keeps, or is giving copies of forms that are used. Would the board receive notification or just a report that the employee has attended these? I guess I'm just thinking about accountability.
As far as the board getting copies of the completed forms?
Not necessarily having to have a form, but I think I don't want to lose the accountability. I don't want the board to lose track, or the knowledge of what's going on.
Like, did the employee find it helpful? That might be important, to know whether or not it was of value if it went.
Right.
Well, the accountability goes through Laura, though, not through us. And we would just see in staff reports that they attended and a few comments about what they learned, but we
Right.
won't actually see the report.
That's what I didn't want to lose,
Yeah.
is just
Oh, yeah.
the knowledge.
Yeah.
I think, are you thinking possibly, Verna, that if the board goes, we were filling something out similar?
No,
No?
not
Okay.
not necessarily.
Okay.
I'm just,
You want to be aware?
yes, I think the board needs to be aware.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
still in their staff reports.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Entertain a motion to rescind the forms.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved, and the dumpster enclosure replacement. You're on again, Laura.
The things we don't teach in libraries. This is one of the last things on our capital replacement plan for 2024, so we're checking things off. And this was Shauna's project, so we got 3 quotes. She got 3 quotes. The handyman of Lake Orion came in at $11,000 to replace the dumpster enclosure, just the one dumpster enclosure, and that was composite. And then ALI came in at $14,000 for one dumpster enclosure. Home Depot came in at $7,148 to do both enclosures, the dumpster enclosure and the recycling enclosure, which I think would be really nice. And that's using vinyl instead of wood, so there would be lower maintenance for us, and they would match, which would be nice. We were thinking of doing one this year and then, one in next year or the year after that, but to get both of them done for that price, I think would be a really great idea. We did budget $10,000 in the capital improvement plan for this project, so it comes in quite a bit under what we budgeted. Shauna, do you have anything to add?
No, the same questions.
I have a question. Go ahead. Home Depot is giving you a 30-year warranty, whereas Handyman and Barrett, I couldn't find a warranty at all, is there?
Handyman, the warranty for composite is 25 year, is underneath number 4 in the project description. And then for vinyl, the 1-year labor warranty was applicable to both companies and a 30-year limited warranty for both vinyl products.
Okay. For Handyman, I still don't see that.
It's under, so he's listed as composite. He's the only one who gave us a composite quote.
It's on this page.
Oh, it's not on the Handyman page?
It's on her summary. It's the,
I'm not finding- Oh, this page, okay. Okay.
the picture, the white enclosure is the fire department has. They did the vinyl for theirs, and I think we're not sure how long they've had it, but it's held up pretty well. They could use a cleaning, in my opinion. But
Is this similar to the vinyl they use on decking?
no, that would be the composite. The decking, a lot of the handrails and stuff are vinyl for
Okay.
decking, but the floorboards are usually composite.
Okay. Any further questions?
It sounds like you are most comfortable with Home Depot, correct?
Yeah.
John, you have a question?
And their quote includes installation?
Yes.
Are they using the existing posts, or is that all getting replaced?
It's all being replaced.
Because it's a big difference.
Yeah.
In the quotes. Wow.
Any more questions?
Just one, on page 21, it says the estimation is valid for 10 days. I'm assuming that we,
We have a good relationship.
okay, that's my only question.
Did the AIS installation have actually been out to see
Yes.
our project?
Yes. He actually came out with like a whole book of options for us to look through and pictures, and he was very helpful.
Has he worked with Home Depot quite often?
Yes.
Have we done any due diligence on the installer? I know we don't have to do any on Home Depot, but
So yes, AIS is a certified corporate, like fencing, they do residential as well. We're going with the corporate side of like the type of material in which we're purchasing. And the phrasing that the contractor or the guy that we worked with said, Home Depot is the watchdog for our company. But if you go onto the AIS website, you see Home Depot splashed all over their website. So they work very closely with them, and you do a majority of their work through the Home Depot requests. So basically, you go into Home Depot, you request a quote, and then they set you up with the corporate or residential company that's going to work with you for this project.
Anything else? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the, let's see, what is this? The Home Depot purchase of, I guess, fencing and installation.
And what's the total amount for that?
It's $7,148.
For the main dumpster and the secondary dumpster. Yeah.
Is there any reason we need to put any cushion on that, or are you good with the total?
It probably wouldn't hurt, just in case.
In case of what?
Okay, then the motion not to exceed, let's see, what is this total?
About 7,500.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good, not to exceed 7,500.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
There may be a cost to move the dumpsters, because we have to move them out of the way for them to work on. So that's the only other expense I can think that we might have.
And we'll need a roll call on that, please.
Kate?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Jan?
Yes.
Burnham?
Yes.
And me, yes.
Motion approved. Yay, now we can get our dumpster closed in.
That'll be nice.
So exciting.
And we will move on to staff reports. I think this gets longer and longer every time we get it. Doing more and more.
We are very busy.
I noticed that at least 5 different staff members mentioned their appreciation for the CPR training. So good job. It sounded like they really appreciated that entire in-service day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Mhm.
Other comments? Okay.
Good.
John?
As usual, it's just mind-blowing how much the staff gets done in a month. So very appreciative of all the hard work.
Kelly?
I have no comments.
Berna?
A couple of comments. Lots of work. I see, Shauna, the work on the Michigan Arts and Culture. I know how much work that is. Congratulations and thank you. On the circulation, Jenny has been working on problem book list. Can you explain what a problem book is?
Sure. Problems are basically when something happens to a book. It could be it's damaged, it's removed from circulation, it's classified as missing because it wasn't able to be found for a hold or for some other reason. And those particular items get marked as problems. And so we print a report and Jenny goes through and she does shelf checks. If she finds the book, it could be something as simple as it was sent for repair. We put a problem on it so that we know that it's out of circulation. The book gets repaired and then it ends up back on the shelf, but it misses that crucial step of having that problem removed. So she just goes through and does shelf checks and makes sure that books with problems actually do have problems. And then from that point, at the end of the year, we kind of go through and clean up our catalog records and problem books. We make a decision, does it get weeded, does it get replaced, what do we have to do with these problems to clear them from the records? So that's a Jenny job. She loves to get in there and look at lists and handle the problems.
I just had one other comment. Fran, the Matthew Duncan concert was spectacular. I think everybody appreciated that. I hope you were. Anyway, good job.
I have one more. Can I ask a question? Alyssa, what is Bites with the Board?
That I think we were going to come to you guys with technically next month, but I included it because our strategic plan group did get it approved by the managers. So it is, you'll hear about it officially next month.
Sorry.
That's okay. I probably shouldn't have included it, I guess. I just, go through my checklist. So that is, we will be proposing to you guys that we, once a quarter, actually just 3 times a year because summer reading is just too busy for us. But so spring, fall, and winter, we have like a little hour-long get-together. Sometimes it'll be breakfast, sometimes it'll be a mid-afternoon snack, where we have at least 2 or 3 board members come in and members of the staff come, and we just get to know each other and chat and have open communication. It's part of that initiative of like staff satisfaction, staff morale. I think especially when you start at a library, the board can be this big scary entity that you don't know how to interact with. So we were just trying to look for a way to, you know, make relationships, build relationships between staff and the board. So that's kind of
Great.
good. So you get free snacks.
Count me in.
Sounds like a win-win all around.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? I had a question, and this is under Sarah's. What is the overdrive cost per circulation?
The Overdrive, Overdrive has a couple of different ways that they sell items to the library for us to provide to patrons. One, different licenses, as you can think of them. So we might buy a license, which is 1 copy, 1 user, and we buy that license, we have it forever. Our patrons can use it as long as we provide Overdrive. We get licenses that are restricted by time or number of circulations, so we might buy a license that provides that item to our patrons for 12 months, 24 months, or a set number of checkouts. It might be 26 checkouts. And once that time frame or checkout limit has been reached, that material disappears from view unless we repurchase it again. That is more typical for a lot of books. Those are the 2 typical ways that we purchase Overdrive material. Overdrive has instituted this new cost per circulation model. So especially with older books, I look at how much it would cost to buy a 2-year license. It might be $60. I take a look at this book that's from 10 years ago, and I think, are our patrons going to get $60 worth of use out of that book? The option that Overdrive gives us allows us to purchase cost per circulation. So they might say, we're going to let your patrons check this out, but we're going to charge you for each individual checkout. And I can restrict that by a time frame. So I can say, I'm going to buy this item as a cost per circ, and it's good through the month of November. Let's say if we were doing Brandon Reed's, I can purchase that item to provide it to all of our patrons for a cost. It might be $1 per checkout, it might be $2 per checkout, it's different with every book. And then at the end, I can shut it off. So everybody can have access to the book, we pay. It's very similar to the Hoopla model, where you pay for every checkout.
Okay.
But looking at the exceeding costs of an Overdrive license, which might be $60 or it might be $109, some of the more expensive books, it's more cost effective for me to go in and search out those cost per circ titles and add them to the collection for a limited amount of time, just to get the holds down. It gives patrons access to more materials more quickly.
Makes sense. Thank you for looking into that.
I had one more.
Of course you did.
This is actually in Alyssa's report, but I think it's more for Laura. We had talked probably 6 months ago about having the library noted in the Citizen every month, and you said it wasn't going to be possible because it was too expensive. So how did you do it?
Well, shortly after I started here, I noticed that the Citizen had the little areas for the senior center, and I think Parks and Rec had a little spot. So I called them and said, can we have a spot? And they said, well, they sent a salesman, and they said, here's how this works.
So they had done the same thing to me after I got here.
So we have tried to get a little spot in there. So I think over the past few years, we have shown them that we are willing to pay for ads also, and we provide them quite a bit of content for the newspaper. Alyssa does press releases. I send them things whenever there's things going on here. So we asked again, and so this time they said yes. So we should
Free,
have,
right? Free?
yeah,
Wow.
a regular
Good.
spot,
Oh, good.
little square.
That's okay.
They're going to edit it as needed for space, so it might not, it might have 2 or 3 things in it at a time, but we're very happy.
Perfect,
Mhm.
yay.
Good job.
Okay, thank you.
And do you have any more questions?
I am done.
Can I go back
Yes,
to mine
you
now?
Oh. You have more.
I just had a quick question about Facebook. How do you said that you weren't pleased with the results of Facebook. How do you determine that?
Well, we looked at the statistics. It's not that we're not pleased with it. We get very little engagement, with a lot of our posts. I think people scroll through and they see, oh, there's a cool program, I'm gonna, go on the website and sign up. But they don't like things or comment or, unless it's a photograph, we just don't get a lot of engagement. So we were trying some new things. I don't know if you've seen, we have posts now that show the week, events for each day of the week, and it's one post instead of having 7 different posts. So we're just trying to try out a few new things. But we do look at our statistics. We can look at the statistics and it shows us which posts got the most views, even if they didn't engage with it.
Okay.
So we've been looking at those statistics. The marketing committee's been working out really well. We go over a lot of good stuff and make some good decisions. So it's good to have that collective group to make those decisions.
People that get all that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where that comes from.
All right, that was all my questions, and just, like I said, every time we get these reports, it's just, they're doing more and more, and I love seeing all the strategic plan, and I like hearing the comments that they're enjoying now working on the strategic plan. It's important, I can see so much engagement. So,
It's exciting.
It's the favorite
Well
part of the board
appreciated.
packet.
Yeah. The muralist will start on Monday also, so
Ooh.
we're very excited about that.
okay, and the statistics, any comment on those? Any questions?
I have a couple of comments, just because I had, in previous meeting, asked Laura for last year's stats, so I thought I should at least comment on the comparison. So the couple of things that stood out from me from last year, October, was the door count was pretty darn consistent from where we were in October 2023, which was 3985. So it's almost exactly where we were. And obviously much higher than September and a little higher than August. So that's kind of why I wanted to see, last year to compare months and not, comparable months, I guess I should say. And then the other thing that really jumped out at me is the total attendance for programs of, almost 1,400, much higher than, probably the last 2 months combined. And last year it was 807, so it's much higher than last year as well.
Any other comments, questions?
Just another comment to add to what John was already talking about, the door count. When you look at what we've done up to this point in 2024, we're already higher than the entire total for 22 and 23. And when I started thinking about it, I'm just really pleased, and it's all down to the staff and the programming, the programs that we do, the displays, the updates on the displays, and such a warm welcome, and the programs. I think it just keeps getting better, and kudos to the staff for all of this. Thank you.
Okay, we're on to Shauna's conference report.
Yay, bonus staff report. So I applied for a scholarship from the Library of Michigan awarded me a $1,800 stipend to be able to attend a conference. And the one I chose to attend is called the Library Assessment Conference. And it happened to be in Portland, Oregon. So I got to fly out there, stay in a hotel for a couple of nights, and really get to work with a lot of academic librarians. Because this conference was hosted by the Association of Research Libraries and the University of Washington. So now you kind of question, well, how does it apply to public libraries? The great thing is that my skill set and the thing that I'm interested in is data assessment, strategic plans, and so on and so forth. And being able to work here at this library has allowed me to grow that particular skill set. And so one of the trends that I am finding within public libraries is this concept of data-driven decision-making and being able to look at the information that we're already collecting and applying it to how we make decisions to provide services, grow our funding, and decide when things need to change and evolve, essentially. So in my staff report, I kind of listed off all the titles of all the sessions I attended. There was stuff about tree diagrams, what's it called? Let's say I gotta refer to it. Reflective storytelling and research, strategy masquerading as planning, facilitation techniques, and then one of the cool workshop ones I took was in Power Query Excel class, which is we learned about cleaning data. So anyway, the concept behind that is some of the three takeaways that I had was that we need to start using these tools to streamline our work so that we're not spending so much time just collecting and looking at the data. We have actual time to assess and make actual changes using the information that we've gathered. Another key takeaway is that we don't use focus groups or advisory boards enough. We use a lot of surveys and we try to get the people's opinion in a quantitative measure. So many people want to do X, Y, Z. Maybe we need to take a look at it from more of a qualitative perspective to say, how do you feel about this? How does this time frame work for you? How can we do better or worse in this situation versus do you, I don't know, I can't think of a good question off the top of my head, so I'm not going to go down that road. And the other takeaway I had from it is that transforming data into compelling stories is what's going to help us connect to our patrons and have them engage with us more. So with these strategies, I really think that public libraries can enhance their operations, deepen their community connections, and confidently navigate the future as innovative spaces for learning and growth. And that is some of the things I learned out at the library conference.
On your honeymoon. Good for you. Thank you.
And are there questions, Kay?
No, but you mentioned the qualitative collection of data. That's great. I really support that, and then you can quantify that. There's ways in which we can then, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
John?
Nope.
Jan?
Well, I look forward to seeing how we can coordinate some of the things that we have always asked you to do for us. Thank you.
Kelly? No questions. Verna? I'm done. I guess I just have a question. Do you see some of this impacting how we're going to review the results of our strategic plan?
Absolutely.
Yay. Good. All right. Well, thank you. Okay, calendar review. December fiscal year ends, so Kathleen will be busy. And then we get a strategic plan update in December, correct, Laura? Okay. comment on anything?
Since the entire management team is here, and we do have our new board members, I thought maybe you guys could introduce yourselves and kind of give an overview of your duties, if that's okay.
I love that.
Alyssa, you go.
Sure, yeah. My name's Alyssa Waldy. I am the head of public services, so that means that I oversee programming, birth to infinity. We have a youth and adult department here, but we have kind of combined them to just one public services, and we work as one big team. We can all plan programs for whatever age group we would like. So there are 7 of us in my department. So programming, I would say, is my main responsibility, but then I also oversee all of our social media. I do not do all of our social media. People in my department do. I'm the person that sends the majority of the stuff to the citizens, so like the ads and things. I do not design them. Anya does that. She does a beautiful job. Yeah, that's kind of it. Many hats.
I'll go next. My name is Sarah Alt. I work in the circulation department. I've been here for 15 years. Started a step above paging, but working in circulation, and gradually kind of moved through all the different departments until ended up as circulation manager. I also do adult collections.
I'm Shauna Quick, and I am the implementation manager. I started off at the adult services desk and then kind of moved into management after that. And I do a lot of behind-the-scenes work with our data, strategic plan. We've received over $50,000 in grant money since I've helped with starting that process. And my passion is in technology, so I help a lot of customer service related issues with that.
Including many board members.
I'm Kathleen Rushlow. I am Laura's administrative assistant. I do a lot. I deal with financials, payroll, weekly checks. We'll see all of you at some point in time with regards to that. I also do my best to take care of most of the facilities things. Do it myself or find somebody to do it. Work with a lot of our vendors and contractors with regards to that.
Thank you.
And as far as I know, you're the only employee who's been up on the roof.
I don't know why, it's fun.
Okay. On hold, we have board self-evaluations and director evaluations, which we will be starting again the beginning of the new year. And we'll go through those processes. Items for next agenda, committee assignments. Anybody have anything else for next month? Okay.
Will we have budget amendments? Or no? Are we all good?
I don't think we will have any budget amendments. In my discussion with Laura, she didn't think there would be any, so. There could be, but the finance committee will hear about that before. Okay. We are adjourned at 6:10.
Yay.